guys, welcome back to the Tipsy Ghost. We're your tipsy hosts, Sarah and Lindsey.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi. So, question.
Yes. Answers.
When do you guys set up your Christmas stuff?
I do it either the Friday or the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Oh.
I always
kinda
wait
late.
for Thanksgiving. No. No. It is still
Shocker,
fall.
Lindsey has an opinion about this.
I like
No.
I love fall. It's my favorite season, so I love the decorations. So I enjoy it through September, October, and November. And then as soon as Thanksgiving's over, fair game, Christmas.
See, not me. I'm a Halloween and Christmas.
It's not even like I'm a big Thanksgiving person. I just
No.
enjoy fall.
Thanksgiving's like...
November doesn't feel like Christmas season.
You know what? That feels rude. My birthday is in November.
We have a, we do Thanksgiving, obviously, and then Friday, Black Friday is one of my favorite days of the entire year.
Oh, boy.
So I do my
Oh,
Black
no, I
Friday
don't think I
shopping,
knew
and we
this
do the
about
Christmas
you.
shopping. Oh my gosh. It is one of my favorite days of the year, and it was honestly, last year I was so bummed about Black Friday
You're
because of
about
COVID.
to be more bummed. I think a lot more stores are closing down.
I know. And honestly, with COVID,
I mean,
I still don't
I
feel
get it.
comfortable doing it, but it will be online. Last year was online, but I was really bummed.
Online is my safe place.
No.
and
100%.
So I love
hate
online
Black
shopping.
Friday.
Love it so much. We go and we stand in lines. We used to go in Dallas when it was crazy.
That sounds terrible.
And I am walking around once, it was before I had kids, and we went with my in-laws and we're all there, and I forgot the buggy. You don't want to get a buggy
Oh, for God's sake. We're back to the buggy.
buggies
God
slow
damn it.
you down.
Shopping carts do slow
They
you
just
down.
slow you down.
Yeah.
They get in the way. You can't get the good stuff. So I literally had a whole armful where I couldn't see around it, and I'm just walking like this.
Oh, like in a Christmas movie?
Yes. Like the
Aw.
Grinch with the presents.
Yes.
That's exactly how I was. And Evan was like, I'm going to go get us a buggy, blah, blah, blah. And I was just grabbing stuff and piling it on top. I couldn't see. And I'm just moving around people. And then I would dump it in the buggy and I'd go run and grab stuff. It is my favorite. It is the one time of the year that my aggressiveness comes out. And I am not
Oh,
afraid
no.
to
the one time.
get in front of people, get what I need.
What?
I scout it
The
out.
first
I know
time of the
exactly
year?
where we're going to go.
You don't drive the other 364 days a year.
Well, when I'm driving too. We scout out the stores
Through
beforehand.
Dallas.
One of my favorite times Black Friday shopping was before I was married. I was in college and I went to see my sister for Thanksgiving, and she had little kids. So we were hitting up the Disney store because that's where you go for Black Friday shopping in the mall. And we were going at 4 a.m.
What?
4 a.m. we were going to be there. Me and her and her husband. The day before, on Thanksgiving, we went to the Disney store. We scouted it out. We were we had a plan. You're going to go get this. You're going to go get this. You're going to go get this. We had it. 4 a.m. We're all waiting for the gates to open. They open the gates. We go in and realize they rearranged the entire store overnight.
Oh, how dare they?
And we go in and we froze. And we were like, oh no, this is all different. My brother-in-law just goes, go, go, go. And we just ran around the store and grabbed stuff. It was the most fun.
Listen, this is the most fascinating story I've heard in a long time. I in no way have the amount of patience or dedication
I love it.
to anything like that. I have the utmost anxiety for situations for that. I could never. I went one time.
I committed to Black Friday one year.
Yes.
Where I scoped out the ads and looked at the opening times and how they staggered. And it was fine. It was just
She's excited hearing you say that.
I get 80% of
Overwhelming.
my Christmas shopping done on Black Friday alone. And Evan hates it, but he has gone every single year we've been together with
Should
me.
I let you know what I want then?
Yeah, same.
Yes. I literally scope
that means
it
I have
all
to
out.
look in advance. So
We're going out. We go out on Thanksgiving night. We go out at 10, 11, midnight, 1 a.m. And
literally, I went once to Best Buy and I bought some game that my kids like to play, and they didn't even care that much about it.
Gosh.
And then I was like, never again.
We go to three or four places normally.
So
I
thank
love
you,
it.
Amazon, for helping me out for that.
Yeah, so last year I sat and watched TV and drank wine and did it on Amazon, and it just wasn't the same.
But
So to
here's
me, that's
something that
exciting.
stresses me out is wanting one thing and them not having it. I just didn't get there in time. I didn't run fast enough. I didn't push over grandma. And
What? That sounds just like something you would do.
I know, right? And so
Move out of
that's
the
why
way.
I like to do it online because they usually have lots of stock.
I agree completely.
But then you miss the adrenaline rush.
See, we have different
I
ideas.
get adrenaline when I like type in the website and like
No,
pick what I
stop
want.
it. And then I hit enter.
And then I like,
No,
ooh, there it is.
exactly,
Gotta
yeah.
And
get.
then I hit click to buy.
But you have to like you have to put it in your cart and then buy it very quickly, or else somebody else could get it.
I'm siding with Boydston on this one.
I don't know if I will be brave enough to go Black Friday shopping again this year. Last year we definitely didn't because
Listen, that is like a tragic event sometimes. People have
get
died.
crazy. I know
People
people
have
get
died.
crazy.
Lindsay
It's
is the one
because
pushing
people
them
like
off.
you.
I don't go with a buggy. Buggies are dangerous.
God damn it.
If you say buggy one more time,
So my husband pushes that around and I just go grab stuff and then I come and dump it in the cart and then I go running off again. He's just on his phone.
do you guys save
pushing
all
it.
of your money for the whole year and spend it on that one day?
We do, like I said, 80% of my Christmas shopping is done on Black Friday. I don't start Christmas shopping until after Thanksgiving's done. That's my other thing.
This is like a fast.
Mine has to
this is a whole
coincide with
new-
the
different
paycheck.
episode. Like we have to do a whole episode on Lindsay doing Black Friday shopping.
It is one of my favorite
Like a
days of
mini
the year.
episode.
Nice.
So when
Samesies.
do you guys decorate for Christmas? We go on Black
I told
Friday.
you. As soon as Halloween's done, I take those decorations down and put Christmas up.
Oh, okay. So you have your Christmas tree up at Thanksgiving.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my gosh. no.
Yeah.
Mine
And
is,
I'm a real Christmas tree kind of a bitch.
I love Christmas.
Mm.
It's my favorite time of the year.
Yeah,
But I let Thanksgiving have its rightful place.
absolutely not. Thanksgiving can fuck all the way off.
mine is sometime between Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I can get down
Okay.
with that.
And I was just, the reason
It's
why
a
we're talking
lazily
about this
decoration, yeah.
is I was asking them before. I was like, so when's the right time? Because I want to do, the kosher thing.
No, you don't.
And
You just do what
apparently
feels good
there
to
is
you.
no right time.
There is no right time. My grandma, I FaceTimed her this past week I FaceTimed her before Halloween. Her Christmas tree was up. So grandma, it's not even Halloween. She
You know
goes,
what? Whatever
"I don't
feels
care."
good to her. If she doesn't feel Halloween, then whatever. But like, I like to decorate for Halloween,
Mhm.
so like, I'm gonna let it have its
Yeah.
moment. But as soon as it's done, I do not give two shits about Thanksgiving, other than like hanging out with my family.
Mine's not really
But
Thanksgiving.
I'm not
it's
gonna
just
like decorate
fall.
for that because Christopher Columbus can fuck all the way off.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Gross. Anyways, what
This
are we
is a
going to
long
talk about
intro.
tonight?
I am going to do a commuter episode for you guys. And I was thinking, what do I want to do? What do I want to do?
What do
when
you want to do?
the focus is on me, and I was like, what do they
Lindsay,
like listening
the spotlight
to?
is on you.
And what do you guys like when I do?
Oh,
You like when I
We love
do-
cryptids.
You love cryptids. Turn on your monitor, Boydston.
okay.
Chupacabra.
I'm doing the Chupacabra. All right, so Chupacabra, for those who do not know, is a legendary creature that originated in Puerto Rico with first sightings in the 1970s. So as far as like cryptids and urban legends, this is a fairly recent one. Like 1970s, and really didn't gain traction until 1990s. So
70s, yeah.
Baby
fairly
Chupacabra.
recent. Yeah.
It's a baby
I think of like
cryptid.
Bigfoot and Dracula, who've been around forever.
He's a newbie.
He is. He's a baby.
Chew about him. Choop.
Chupacabra.
I like the choop.
And I need you guys to come up with a nickname. I know you're going to do it.
Choop.
It's
We already
Chup.
got it.
It's Chup. So Chupar.
Chupa-doop.
Chupar means to suck.
Chupar. Chupar.
Cabras means goats. So it is literally Spanish for goat sucker.
The goat sucker.
The goat sucker. So it's technically El Chupacabra. Next slide, please. There's Puerto Rico.
Oh, thank you.
So this is where it
Right
originated.
there, it's so tiny.
So the Chupacabra is said
It's
to...
part of the U.S.
It is a U.S.
It's
territory.
a U.S. cryptid, FYI.
It is said to
Goat sucker.
attack and drink the blood of livestock, including goats, hence goat sucker.
Goat sucker, yes.
God.
So the first reportings, like I said, started in 1975 in Moca, Puerto Rico, where there was a series of livestock killings. So at the time, they were attributed to what they called the vampire of Moca. And villagers initially believed that it was a satanic cult. 1970s, I mean, this is kind of when Satanism was getting all the ritualistic killings.
This
and-
is like pre-satanic panic,
right.
but like still a thing.
Still
like,
a thing.
Like leading up to it.
So they thought, oh,
Oh, I
there's
get it.
some sacrifice
Yeah.
rituals going on. That's why our livestock are being killed.
Definitely occultism. Like, yeah, for sure.
They were there. They were thinking it. But more and more killings were reported around the island of Puerto Rico, and farms continued to report loss of livestock.
Goats. It was goats.
It was Goats included.
It was a goat sucker.
But chickens as well, sheep, things like that. Each of the animals were reported to have its body bled dry through a series of small circular incisions, which is again why they were thinking this was ritualistic, because it was just
Sucking holes.
weird. Yes.
Hole sucking goat.
Vampires.
Chicken, goat, hole
Goat
sucker.
sucking. Goat sucking through
sucking.
holes.
Holes.
Oh, Chupe. Sweet little Chupes. All right, so we're going to fast forward now to March 1995. 8 sheep were found dead in Puerto Rico, each with 3 puncture wounds in the chest area and also drained completely of blood. So they're like, this has happened before. So, August 1995, an eyewitness named Madeline Tolentino reported seeing an unknown creature in the town of Canovanas, where already 150 farm animal and pets had been killed.
Mostly goats and chickens.
All of them drained of blood.
Worst.
There were some domestic pets as well.
You know, you
I'm not
glossed
gonna
over
go-
it the first time, and you just had to throw that
I'm
out
not
there.
gonna-
But she
go
said
into more
domestic
detail.
pets. I would have named them, so
Yes,
hats off
I'm
to
not
you.
going to name them. It got so bad that some people completely left the village because they were like, what is happening? Our livestock is like their livelihood at that point.
Sure.
And children were having to be escorted to school by their parents because they're like, there's some animal, something is on the loose. By April 1996, so almost a year later, the number had been up to 2,000 animals. So Madeline Tolentino, she reports seeing this unknown creature in August of 1995. She reports that it was reptile-like skin, leathery or scaly greenish-gray skin, and had sharp spines or quills running down its back, approximately 3 to 4 feet tall, and would stand and hop, similar to that of a kangaroo.
Justin Bieber.
It had large black or red eyes, and
Do you know he's a lizard
smelled
person?
like sulfur.
I did know he was a lizard person, but I did not put it together that he was a Chupes.
Next.
Oh, should have known.
And it smelled like sulfur.
Oh, God.
That's the Chupes. The
Chupes.
Chupes.
Well, that's terrifying.
It is terrifying. Sometimes
Chupies.
depicted with wings, sometimes not. So, this is what Madeline Tolentino said she saw eating her goats.
AKA the goat sucker.
And so people panicked, as they do.
I would.
Right, this is pretty scary.
Yeah. Justin Bieber.
So, Puerto Rican comedian Silvero Perez, he first coined the term Chupacabra, and he was talking about the attacks as a radio DJ in San Juan, and the name stuck. Everyone was like, goat sucker. Yes, that's what we're naming him. So since then, he's been called the Chupacabra.
Oh, gosh. What a terrible name.
So, some theories. At that time, people were thinking about 40 minutes away from Canovanas, where 2,000 animals had been, drained of blood. There is Fort Buchanan, which is a U.S. military base. And the town would occasionally get U.S. military personnel who would come there and stay from time to time. So they're like, is this an escaped military experiment? What is this?
100% it's an alien.
I love a good conspiracy.
I love a good alien.
The mayor, Jose Ramon Quimosoto, decided to start a safari to hunt the Chupacabra. I'm just going to call them Chupes.
Chupes. Yeah, I like it.
All right. He decided to start hunting the Chupes.
I mean, why not?
Got some militia people.
He looks terrible.
He got about 200 people, including some armed cops. And they would drag a goat along in a cage as bait behind a truck and would be up on the truck in the truck bed with their guns and a giant crucifix trying to hunt the Chupes.
Oh, my gosh.
Do crucifixes help with aliens?
But I think
off
they were
vibes.
kind of thinking vampire still because of the
Oh, so
draining
now it's a
blood.
vampire.
I mean, they don't know what it is.
He has
That's
many
the whole thing.
titles.
That's what they have to go off of is one person's account, and that's what it looks like.
So we're just going to put a crucifix out there for vibes.
You never know. It doesn't hurt to have a crucifix around.
Listen, I'm going to ask you again for the billionth time. Have you ever played Phasmophobia? This is what it's
No,
like.
I have not.
It's like putting out a crucifix for some vibes.
When in doubt, carry a crucifix. It's
Yeah,
good life
and then
advice.
you stand on it if you're scared.
Oh, okay, because they can't get you if you're standing
That's
on
exactly right.
it.
Yeah. Yep. In fact, you get points.
Okay.
Okay.
So, sadly, they never caught the Chupes after hunting it. never
So
found
they
it.
think.
So they think. Obviously, around this time, this is the 90s, this mayor, he's getting lots of interviews, giving them out, and the USA gets a hold of the story because, like we said, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, And the Washington Post and the New York Times both print the story. And now the USA is like, oh my goodness, yes. We are on board with the Chupes. Let's get it.
Support our Chupes.
Support our Chupes. That is great. Can we get like stickers that say that? All right. So the Puerto Rican government also steps in at this time because they're like, oh crap, this is going to really negatively affect the tourism of Puerto Rico. People aren't going to want to come here. So they bring in biologists to come in and see if they can find out what's going on. So some theories that the biologists had: bats that were maybe drawn to new food sources.
For fuck's sake. You had to go there.
Maybe a vampire bat.
This is a morphism of a bat. Can you imagine a bat?
No, that's not a bat at all. 3 to 4 feet tall.
It's a vampire bat.
They also thought maybe it was wild dogs that were attacking. And they also thought that so apparently there were doing some experiments and testing on monkeys at this time near to this village, and they thought maybe these monkeys escaped, and late at night maybe she saw the red eyes of the monkey standing up on its hind legs. I mean, who knows?
With spines?
I don't know. With
spines, they could be little sensors,
like, you know what I mean?
Medical sensors, coming off of them.
Maybe they're thinking maybe she got carried away. I don't know. So that was one of them. You were trying
to justify the monkey theory? Oh no.
No, I put in my notes, an escaped monkey for scientific testing sounds crazier than the Chupes.
I have feelings about that, but proceed.
All right, so soon, other bizarre animal deaths start getting reported in other countries, including Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, and the US of A.
So just a couple.
Just a couple. They're all like, oh yeah, hey, we got these animals being drained of blood too. Maybe the Chupes made his way over.
Oh, it's just monkeys. Bats.
We're going to fast forward to the 2000s.
Okay.
In the US of A, like I said, they start getting reports. Anybody want to take a guess what state has the most reports
Texas.
Of the Chupes? Damn straight, it's Texas.
Oh, damn it. I was going to guess.
There's something wrong with Texas.
Texas and its cryptids.
It's Texas. All right.
Good guess.
Thank you. My next guess was going to be Florida.
No, it's Texas this time.
I had to really think. I'm like, where are the cryptids? She was all over it.
I know this story.
Okay.
June 2007, we're going to South Central Texas to a ranch that's owned by Phyllis Canyon.
What?
Canyon.
Canyon?
Canyon. Canyon? I'm going to say it's owned by Phyllis.
It's like onion, but canyon.
She's a naturopathic doctor and a hunter who is out on her ranch in broad daylight. Let that be known. This is daylight.
Okay.
And she sees a canine figure, hairless, with blue-gray flesh and bony limbs. And then she found one of her chickens with his throat torn open, drained of blood. So she's like, this is weird. So she keeps seeing this creature showing up on her ranch and leaving her chickens dead. So she sets up cameras, can't catch anything. So then she goes to her neighbors and she's like, hey, just let me know if you're getting any of this, if there's some creature that's killing your animals. And eventually she finds the creature dead on the side of the road, loaded it into her tractor, photographed it back at her ranch, and then took it to a taxidermist, had it stuffed, and put it up in her living room.
As one does.
As one does. This is where the story of the Chupes kind of changes. And so now they're describing it as a hairless dog on 4 legs.
As they are.
With a pronounced spine, pronounced eye sockets, fangs and claws, like protruding teeth, and drains blood through 3 holes in the shape of a downwards pointing triangle.
Have you ever seen a hairless bear?
No.
I feel like that might be a hairless bear.
That is the animal she caught and stuffed.
No, that's a dog.
Looks really like a sad dog.
She has that on display in her living room.
That's weird, but he looks like a very sick dog.
Everybody's got hobbies, I guess.
So, fun fact, while I was doing this PowerPoint, my child was sitting next to me and saw this picture and he goes, oh, it's a hyena.
Yes.
And he's not
hairless.
Wrong. I was like, that's actually a good observation, bud.
Or like a coyote.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get that.
So, Benjamin Radford, he wrote a book called Tracking the Chupes in 2011.
Obviously.
And he spent years tracking the Chupes. He would go through all of South America and parts of the U.S. He wrote about the origins of the description of the Chupes and discovered that reports of blood sucking were never actually confirmed by autopsy to conclude if the blood had been drained from the body. An analysis by a veterinarian who examined over 300 of the victims claimed that they had not been bled dry as reports claimed. All right, so he also said that, quote, in dead animals, and you guys can probably I know not animals, but with bodies, I'm assuming it's kind of the same thing. The drop in the blood pressure leads to the blood pooling in the lowest portion of the body. And he said if you stick an animal with a knife, it's not going to bleed unless you flipped it over where the blood has seeped to, and people aren't thinking to do that.
Okay, right. Because if your heart's not beating, it's not going to perfuse to your limbs.
So he's saying people were checking it by stabbing it and no blood was coming out. So they're like, oh, they're drained of blood.
Okay. Weird way to check, but
right.
I mean, okay.
But he was like, if the blood's pooling, it's not going to bleed.
You probably wouldn't also notice pooling in an animal as much as you would with
a human.
It's all weird.
With an animal that's dark, leathery skin like that. It's like a gray-black.
I get it.
I don't know.
There's things that you would not do. It's all fucked up. Okay.
Yeah, proceed. It's all weird. Phyllis, she has been on over 60 documentaries now talking about her experience with the Chupes because she is convinced this is the Chupes.
I love the Chupes.
Ben Radford, who wrote the book, said that Texas is a Chupacabra factory. And that's in quotes. Because of all the sightings in Texas. And I just love that he's like, yeah,
sure.
Texas is the Chupes factory.
Chupe fact.
All right, so the U.S. reports, so since they came out and said that this looks different than what Puerto Rico said, the U.S. reports were mainly attributed to dogs and coyotes with some genetic abnormalities or mange. You guys know what mange is?
Yes, I do. Which this does look like a dog with mange. And also, I just want to point out that there is a stuffed zebra.
Yes, she does have a stuffed zebra. She's a hunter, remember?
The head.
Yeah, she was a hunter. So
why would you hunt a zebra?
She said she'd been to Africa and all these other countries. Yeah.
So she's, of course, going to have a Chupe.
Listen,
head.
Does she have Texas, we love you, but
ivory?
also Texas.
Texas.
All
Can
right.
we not?
Can we not? All right. So mange, for those who don't know, it's basically where mites get underneath the skin. It can happen to humans too. It's more like scabies kind of for humans. But dogs, it's really bad where they basically
specific to dogs when they call it mange.
Yes. And so it's basically they scratch off all their fur.
They lose all their hair.
Yeah. Because they scratch it off because they're so itchy. And so dogs who are strays, hairless.
But I feel like they can become encephalopathic because it goes to their brain. Oh. And because they start kind of losing their mind over it.
So because they lose their hair, their skin is going to become super thick and leathery, and they get nasty looking scabs all over them. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if they're strays, they're going to look
emaciated. Yes.
Emaciated. There's really 2 reports of the Chupes. Those from Puerto Rico, which I kind of showed you guys earlier, that looked like an alien, and then those from America, Texas, really, where it looks like a wild feral dog.
Yep. Terrible.
Yeah. So, in late October 2010, University of Michigan biologist Barry O'Connor concluded that all the Chupacabra reports in the U.S. were coyotes infected with the parasite, I'm not going to say the Latin word for it, but mange, whose symptoms would explain most of the features of the Chupacabra. So, he's saying they'd be left with little fur, they'd have thick skin, and they would smell maybe like sulfur, but they would smell pretty bad.
Terrible.
He theorized...
So, this lady has a stuffed coyote with mange.
Yes, in her living room. You can see her couch right there.
A zebra head. Just a head.
Okay.
This lady has... Okay.
So he's saying these dogs, these coyotes, are hunting livestock because these animals are so weakened, they're starving, they're going to have a hard time hunting, so they may be forced into attacking livestock because it's easier than running down a rabbit or a deer or something that they'd have to chase, that they're not going to have the energy for.
Yeah. Well,
goats don't run fast. Chickens don't run fast.
Okay.
So most of them have protruding teeth. You can kind of see. And so they're saying maybe, it's got a protruding spine.
That just makes me sad.
It's sad because you could tell it's starving. So Phyllis says that she has had 5 different universities test the DNA of her Chupes. And they all
Chipped.
come back identical, not matching any animal in their archives.
Now that is interesting.
Radford, the guy who wrote the book, says, no, that ain't true.
Oh, okay.
He goes, every DNA test that they have done has resulted for either some coyote or some dog breed that they think people in Texas have been inbreeding to make it look like a Chupes
Okay.
to try to get some clout.
So maybe she could interpret it in a certain way.
Uh-huh.
They don't know what it is.
Am I cool for saying clout?
Oh my God, Lindsey, you're so cool
Thank
for
you.
saying clout.
Thank you. All right.
Amazing.
So Phyllis says that she believes the Chupes are a type of coyote that has not been discovered yet, and it's hairless and likes the taste of blood. So that's her theory.
Hate that.
Yeah. Radford is like, no, like this is just coyotes who are starving, and it got transformed from there.
Okay.
So going back to kind of Puerto Rico, and because what they reported seeing was not at all looking like a dog. When Radford was writing his book, Tracking the Chupacabra, he spoke to Tolentino, who was the first person to ever say that she saw this creature back in Puerto Rico. And that same year, he discovered that a sci-fi film called Species was released, and the film was partially filmed in Puerto Rico, so it was really popular in Puerto Rico, and she had seen it, and the monster she described is literally identical to her reports of what the Chupacabra looks like. So he's thinking she just saw something, and it could have been like a wild coyote, a wild dog, could have been something, and she had seen this movie and just, it grew from there.
Her brain filled in the pieces.
Yes. There are so many videos, if you Google, of people seeing a Chupacabra, and almost all of them are in Texas, in the U.S.
Oh my God, Texas, get it together.
So who knows? I mean, maybe this is stuff of legends and there's no truth to it. Maybe there
Either
is
that or
a
I'm
goat-sucking
jealous.
demon dog out there that's killing livestock.
Alien
Who
dog.
knows? Alien
Yeah,
dog.
it's an
Maybe
alien
there's
dog.
some alien monkey. I don't know.
It's not a monkey.
I don't think it's a monkey.
It's an alien dog.
But that is the story of the Chupacabra.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome for the Chupes.
What are your
the
thoughts
Chupes.
on the Chupes?
I think Chupes is baloney.
Do you?
I
That's
am
the
surprised
first
by
time
you.
I've heard you say that.
I thought you would yell at me if I said that.
Tell me why.
No. It just seems like somebody saw something based off a movie that they saw. And then there's also some lady in Texas who has a coyote with mange stuffed in her living room.
I thought that was so weird.
I'm not going to disagree about
Yes,
that
it is.
lady in Texas with coyote with mange, because she has a lot of weird things in her living room.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the only legit photos you see all look like coyotes with mange.
Mhm.
Right. I looked at lots of videos and photos of people who said that they've seen it, and they all look like feral dogs or like coyotes with mange.
Right. And so I know I inserted myself a minute ago in this conversation about my mom's picture, but she has a house at the Lake of the Ozarks. We've talked about it before. We have recorded down there.
Mm-hmm.
And she was out on a walk and she sent me a picture and she was like, "What do you think of this?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, people will probably think that's the Chupacabra." And she said, "Ulf thinks it's a coyote with mange." And Ulf was always right. So
Yeah. And I will say that
I think that's where we're going.
Chupes has been in other parts besides Texas in the USA. It's been up in Maine, and it's been reported
this was in
the
Missouri.
Midwest. Yeah. Texas is just the Chupes Factory. It has the most reported
They are going to report it.
sightings.
Yeah, because
What do you think, Lindsay?
I think that it's just a coyote or a dog with mange, and people just like urban legends. They think it's fun.
it's such a new urban legend.
Really, 1995 is when it started. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, 70s is when it kind of started, but nobody picked up on it until 95.
Wow.
And then, even there was some report of, up in India, people were saying that they were having it too. And I'm like, okay. I mean, this creature did not just come out of nowhere in Puerto Rico,
Right.
and now it's all over the world.
I agree.
But dogs and coyotes are everywhere, so
It's a fun story nonetheless.
it is fun.
Maybe it is truly an alien taking over.
Is that what your thoughts are?
I mean, yes, because
I mean, yes.
here's the thing. If it's an age-old story that's just trying to make itself new and fresh, It's like, hey, I'm an alien. How can I make myself relevant? Coyotes.
What do you think about the army base being near it, where it originated?
You know what? There's some validity to those stories, I think, as well.
I mean, it could have been like something they were doing experiments on that did get out, and 2,000
Question.
livestock is a lot.
Hang
for
on.
dog.
Is that near the Coyome?
I don't know.
Oh, that's what we should look at.
That's the only part that kind of struck me as weird, is that over the course of a year, 2,000 livestock is a lot.
Coyome
for one dog.
is the Mexico's version of Roswell,
Okay.
and it is an interesting story.
Well, this was in
and
Puerto
of
Rico.
itself. Okay, but still, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting.
Yeah,
It's a fun story to talk about.
my brain is buzzing now. Okay, well, cool.
All right. That's what I got for you guys for
Thank
your
you.
computer episode. I did a cryptoid for you.
Thank you. Cryptoid?
Cryptid. Gosh, I'm tired. It's a cryptoid.
Cryptoid.
It's a cryptoid.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I loved
I
it.
said it in a British accent.
A cryptoid.
It's a cryptoid.
I don't know if that was.
No.
Okay,
Yep,
sorry.
That's how I'm playing it off.
No.
So I know how
It
much
was
you guys
something.
love, Pan and
Listen, I was thinking about
Patty
Pan.
Abe.
I was thinking about Pan the other day. How much fun that was.
Pan was fun.
And you had to be there.
You really did for Goat. That wasn't even Pan, it was Goat Man. And Mothman, I did Mothman.
Yes, but Pan was where it started.
Pan was.
Go check it out.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in this week for our little short commuter episode. You can always find us at thetipsyghost.com and find our socials from there, or send us an email if you have any ideas to thetipsyghosts@gmail.com.
Please give us a 5-star rating anywhere you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate it, and it really does help.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
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 That was bad.